Hello, welcome back to Thor TV. I'm going to talk with PlayStation 4 owners now with regard to Skyrim mods and the future of those mods. Because I'm hoping things might be changing. I am reading between the lines based upon information that I've sort of read and seen since Skyrim Special Edition was released last year. So there's a lot of stuff there going around in my head. And I formed an opinion which I'd like to share with you. Maybe you can sort of give me your ideas as well. I'm going to be talking a bit of techie stuff during this, so I'm sorry for that. If you don't understand, I'm sorry. So anyway, so we know that the PlayStation 4 at the release of, more or less at the release time of Skyrim Special Edition, the restrictions were this: you could not have textures, you could not have meshes or scripts. Now, Xbox could. The thing is, why? That was always the thing, why? Well, Skyrim has a history of not being a very stable game. It crashes a lot. It's better now with Skyrim Special Edition, but it's not perfect. It is natural for a console manufacturer, Sony and Microsoft, not to want the game to keep crashing on their consoles, because people are going to go running to Sony and say, look, it doesn't work. It's rubbish, I want my money back, or whatever. They don't want that to happen. So they want to keep it stable. They want to keep it running at a good frame rate. That's an important thing as well. So how can you do that? Well, things which put a big impact, if you like, on systems, like from the point of view of frames per second and so on, would be textures and probably meshes as well. You don't want too much going on in the game. So yeah, also scripts. The stability is mainly scripts, I would say, but yeah, all three. So well, textures and scripts mostly. So this is the stability of the game and the like frames per second thing for both of them. But Microsoft decided it was good enough, so we'll allow textures and stuff as well. That's no problem. One of the things with Skyrim as well, there's kind of a limit as to how many mods you can run on Skyrim without the game freaking out. So hence I think the limit on the file size that you can have for Xbox and PlayStation 4. You can't compare the file size you can have on a PC with file size on a Xbox or PlayStation 4 because they're all different. Okay. I mean, a PC, you just add a bit more memory or a bigger hard disk or whatever you're going to do. So that's different. But I would say the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 limited the number of mods by limiting the size that you can download. The reason that the PlayStation 4 maximum size is so low is they don't have to give you size for textures and meshes. Textures is the big one. Not downloading textures, so they don't need to give you 5 megabytes. One's enough. 5 gigabytes. 1 gigabyte's enough. Something like that. So although there's a difference in size, as the Xbox looks like it can download more stuff, it's downloading textures as well. So the number of mods you can have is kind of balance, sort of works out a bit. So I hope you get the idea. But there's all stability stuff going on and frames per second and that sort of thing. But there was also talk about the file formats and compression. You might know, well, people know a lot about compression from zip files, like WinZip, 7-zip, those things. People know about those. So you take a big file, you put it into a zip file, and it's a smaller file. That's kind of what happens with a game. So a game developer will make a game, the size of the game in the files and so on is massive, but they compress them and it takes up less space and you're fine. You can put it on your PC. Great. Not too much of a problem. And the same thing happens with Xbox and PlayStation 4. Compression. Now Xbox is kind of like just like Windows really, and the file formats are not such a big secret, should we say. But with the PlayStation 4, compression formats are not kind of public knowledge. The game, so Bethesda have tools and so on to compress the files into the format for PlayStation 4, but I don't. And maybe PlayStation 4, because they didn't want to give me access to something that would convert the textures and so on into a format that was okay for the PlayStation 4 to use, because they didn't want to do that, they said, well, you can't put textures in because we won't give you the tool. I don't know if you know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean by that. So maybe that's why. Maybe Sony were trying to protect their copyright stuff and so on by not giving us the tools to be able to compress the files so that the PlayStation 4 could use them. Make sense? Or understand? Okay. Now we've got this thing, Creation Club, which you can see on the screen. Now this was announced yesterday by Bethesda, I think I said, as a pay-to-download mod system. There is a list in this, there's only one web page, and there's a list of things you can have. Weapons, apparel, world, characters, creatures, gameplay. These all need things like meshes, textures, things like that. Gameplay is scripts. Would need, well, I suppose would need, I think would need scripts. The Creation Club is for Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4. If the restrictions were something to do with compression into the PlayStation 4 file format, by introducing Creation Club, perhaps what will happen is the mod authors will submit a mod to Creation Club. The Creation Club will eventually, let's say they eventually will approve it for publishing, and then Bethesda will compress the mod into the format for PlayStation 4, not the mod author. Bethesda do it because it's a quick and simple thing to do, I'm sure. And then they publish the mod here for PlayStation 4 owners. So, with all this said and done, my opinion is, my hope is that with the arrival of the Creation Club, there will be pay for download mods, but the mods nevertheless for the PlayStation 4 that include meshes, textures, sounds as well, and scripts, all compressed by Bethesda, so Sony don't have to worry about their copyright stuff because Bethesda already have the tools to compress the files for the PlayStation 4. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but it's what I think. So I think what we are looking at here is this summer mods for the PlayStation 4 using meshes, textures, scripts and sounds, none of which has been possible until this. Let's just hope the price of those mods is low, it's cheap. But what a thing for the PlayStation 4. Think of the sales for Bethesda. It makes sense for Bethesda as well that if they do something like this, it will help the PlayStation 4 people and so on. So I'm not saying that's why the Creation Club exists because of PlayStation 4, but as a kind of side effect, maybe it will help the PlayStation 4 people to get better mods. Let's see what happens. It's all kind of conjecture and educated guesses a bit. But I felt I wanted to share it with you. And I don't know why. That's all. Anyway, see you in the Let's Play, and all the best. Goodbye.